friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. So here we are, right on the cusp of Old School April again for 2025. My video is very late and I do apologize for that, but I wanted to make sure to get it in before April started. So first and foremost, this is I think my third year co-hosting this event, and it means so much to me and to the other co-hosts and to, you know, our little community that I'm just so excited to be part of it, and I hope you guys are excited too. So I did want to mention that I'm not going to go over a whole lot for like what the prompts are and how it works and points and all of that. So I will send you over, of course, to Kelsey's page, Slime and Slashers. She does have links for all the things, all the Google Docs. She explains how the points work, all of that kind of thing. So I didn't want to just regurgitate all the same information. So I'll send you over there to get all of the information if you haven't already. And then I'm just going to talk about my team, my host recs, and my TBR in this video. So my watch list will be in a separate video. I'm still working on that, but we're going to go over all the books that I have in my pile of possibilities, and of course which team I'm on and who I'm going to be partying with for Old School April. Hopefully you guys, if you haven't picked your team yet, you will do so before April starts, and we're just going to have a whole lot of fun. So of course, first and foremost, like I said, go over and check out Kelsey's page for all of the details. Secondly, I did want to make sure to call out the official Instagram stuff for Old School April. Make sure you're using the official Old School April hashtag to share and make sure everybody that can find your posts, but also the official Instagram sort of co-a-thon is 6 Sad April, as it is every year. It's hosted by Apple and Alchemy. April's an amazing person and she always comes up with the most incredible prompts. So this is the official kind of picture challenge over on Instagram. I'm gonna start shooting mine right now because every year I leave it till like the day of and then it's a scramble. So really great prompts for 6 Sad April this year as well. And then of course, like I said, make sure you're using the OSA hashtags over on Instagram. And there's a Discord group and there's going to be watch parties. It's a whole schedule, all the things. So it's going to be a really busy month. And next up, okay, so for the teams, I believe there's 4 different teams this year, and I am part of the Beetlejuice bunch. And I'm super excited because I will be on a team with both Katrina and Christine from Secrets Read. And we all know these ladies. They're fantastic. I idolize them because they read way more than I do or I can. And we all have different tastes that we go for within our horror. So I think each one of us is going to have a lot to bring to the table. So Beetlejuice Bunch is our team, so we're really rooting for it this year to win. But of course, Old School April is all about just having fun and the activities. There's no pressure, you know, you don't have to do all of the prompts. There's a ton of read and watch and activity prompts. I certainly am not going to do all of them, but of course it's, like I said, it's really laid back. So, you know, with the reading, one book can go in for multiple prompts, same things with the movies. So just sit back, have fun, and maybe plan out your activities and see which prompts it actually does fit into instead of the other way around, which I find that's a little bit easier for me. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. So if you're on Beetlejuice Bunch and you're seeing this video right before Old School April starts, let me know down below if you are on my team, and we will be sure to really put in the effort to get all of our points so we can win this year. Okay, next up for the host recs. So I know people probably already have their TBRs, pile of possibilities, their movies, all of that picked out. But I wanted to throw my picks into the circle because I know this can fit in with several of the prompts. So for books, my first host rec is The Omen by David Seltzer. So, and this does have to do with the movie. So you could actually do like a book versus movie if you would like. That would fit into the prompts. I read this one a couple of years ago. Now, The Omen is one of my favorite horror movies. I love anything to do with religious horror, as most of you know. And I finally picked up the book a couple of years ago. and really enjoyed it. And the thing that I like about the book is it gives the story a little bit more meat and bones. It brings everything around. It explains a lot of the back history of like the story and all of that kind of stuff. And so I felt like reading the novelization after being such a fan of the movie really brought everything full circle for me. So I wanted to throw that one in there. So if you haven't read that one, I'd highly recommend it. Sorry, I just grabbed it off my shelf. So for the book, my other book, I picked A Fear Street. And this, I think, is probably my favorite Fear Street so far that I've reread or read since I was a kid. And of course it has all that summertime sort of vibe going on, which we're coming into spring now, so getting into sort of the summer horror themes. So I picked The Overnight, which is Fear Street number 3, I believe. And I have such a love for this book. I started doing a reread of Fear Street from like beginning to end a few years ago. And this one, like I said, was my favorite that I've done like with my rereads. And, you know, this can fit into multiple prompts in and of itself. So, you know, one of the prompts is to read a Christopher Pike Fear Street or Point horror, so it would fit into that. Another one is a book with neon on the cover, which this does have. Another prompt is people who look scared on the cover, so it will fit into that. So I thought this was a really great pick, and it's just a great book overall. So you have a bunch of kids from Shadyside High that go to an island on a camping trip, a school camping trip. So I guess you could loop it in with the school vibe as well. So tons of prompts that can fit in for. And above everything, it's a great book. So I might, now that I've talked about it, I might actually reread it myself. I might throw it into the pile of possibilities and see if I can get to it during Old School April as well. And then as far as movies go, so like I said, I'm not going to talk about my watch list in this video. I'm still working on it, and that is going to be part of my other channel, which I need to kind of reinvigorate. Here I did start a new channel this year, and I believe there's only 2 videos over there so far. There's one that's in the works, and then I really wanted to loop in kind of Old School April, my watches over there as well. So for my host recs though, I've gone with 2 movies, one from the 80s and one from the 90s. One is an absolute favorite, and one I just recently because I was doing a whole watch-a-thon of movies from 1988. So the one from the 80s, which is kind of new to me, is Waxwork. And I posted over on my Instagram the night that I watched this movie. It's from 1988, like I said. I posted over on my Instagram about it, and so many people sent me DMs saying that they love this movie. It's a comfort for them. They haven't seen it in years. It's so cheesy. And we had a blast watching this movie. It was so fun. Now I haven't seen the sequel yet, but the first one I would highly recommend if you just want to sit down, have a good laugh. It's totally a popcorn movie. It's cheesy. It's all the 80s sort of horror comedy vibes. It was great. So that's my pick from the 80s, and like I said, I watched it for the first time just a couple of weeks ago. And then from the 90s, from 1995, one of my favorite movies of all time is Mortal Kombat. And again, it's just got a huge cheese factor. The music is fantastic. The storyline is fantastic. It just makes me smile every single time that I watch it. And I've been wanting to do a rewatch of this film for the past little while, and I've held off because I want it to be part of my Old School April watch list. So super excited about that. So like I said, 1995 was a great year. It's one of my favorite years. Kind of 94 to 96 is kind of this period that sticks out in my mind. So I wanted to pick something from one of those 3 years to throw on this list as well. Okay, so that's it for the host recs. Now I'm going to get into my actual pile of possibilities for Old School April. So like I said, I'm not reading anywhere near all of the prompts or for all of the prompts. There's just way too many. But I wanted to stick with books that were fairly short and ones that were incredibly nostalgic for me. Now the biggest thing here is, like I said, one book can work for multiple prompts, and that's where the key is. So for all of the prompts that I picked, I do have a book for each one, but there you can see the overlap in there as well, and I'll go through that as I'm going through these. So the first prompt is retro vintage, a book published before 2006. So I just happened to see this one on my shelf when I was going through trying to see what I wanted to read for Old School April. So I picked this one. I went with a Betty Wren Wright. I am very much in the mood for spooky, sort of ghosty books. So this is The Ghost Witch. It came out in, it's an Apple paperback from September 1995. So fits in with the year that I'm going for with my movies as well, 1995. And it says on the front, "What's scarier than a ghost? The ghost of a witch." So super, super short. This would also fit in with the middle grade prompt. It would also fit in with someone who is scared on the cover. It would also fit in with an animal on the cover. So like I said, if you're picking books, make sure you get them in for all the prompts that it qualifies for so you can get all your points. So the next prompt, time warp set in the 80s or 90s. So I really, really wanted to read A Nightmare Hall for Old School April. I haven't picked up A Nightmare Hall in so long. There's just been so much to read. But this particular series, or offshoot, I guess, was one of my favorites when I was a kid. And I have an undying love for it. So, of course, you know, we also have neon here. We have neon in the title. This one, unfortunately, the window is missing the sash. If you know the Nightmare Hall series, you know they all have these windows on the front with a step back cover. But of course, we have the wonderful cover art on the inside here with this lady at the bottom of the rope. And so this is my pick for set in the 80s or 90s, but it could also fit in, like I said, with the neon on the cover, and it can also fit in with the school vibe prompt as well. But for this particular prompt, I did go with this one. So it says, if you don't know anything about Nightmare Hall, it's basically a university series, and the dorm that these kids are in is called Nightingale Hall, but so much happens there that they call it Nightmare Hall. And it says, Jess is eager to start college until she arrives at her off-campus dorm. She can see why everyone calls it Nightmare Hall, especially when she learns the dark secret hidden within the house. A girl named Giselle hanged herself there, in Jess's room. But was it really suicide, or was Giselle murdered? Echoing through the house, Jess can still hear the sound of Giselle's last scream. So really super excited to get to this one. Like I said, I've been dying to pick up A Nightmare Hall, and this is the perfect opportunity. So the next prompt is the Scary Spice, a frightened person on the cover. So for this one, I did want to pick up kind of like a point horror sort of book. And I love the cover on this book. It looks great. So I went with Alone in the Dark by Daniel Parker. And again, we have neon on the cover. We have a scared young woman here, like kind of within the silhouette of this creepy man. And it says, a killer job. A huge mansion on the beach, a fancy sports car, a hot tub, and a kid who knows everything about Gretchen, including her deadly future. So this is part of the Babysitter's Nightmares, Terror Beyond Your Wildest Dreams. And this also has old school technology on the cover, which is another prompt. So I have another choice for that one, but this one does fit in with that as well. So multiple prompts can be filled with this one. And next up we have Teen Witch. So it has to feature magic, magical elements, witches, or cursed objects. And for this one, I picked this one up last year, and I love the sound of this book. I also love the cover, and I also love that it's a collection of short stories. So especially when I'm doing these readathons, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with my own channel, my own book club, stuff like that. I love putting in short stories. So this one is Curses, Ink, and Other Stories by Vivian Vandeveld. And just look at the cover on this. So we have like a circle of symbols down here. There's a cat that's like hopping up to the mouse. There's a witch, candles. Oh, there's actually, this could fit in with the old school technology on the cover because of the old sort of desktop style computer. She's in her library there in like a witch's cottage. I love the feel of this book. And it says, in the mood for something surprising, spooky, and stunning, Vivian Vandevelde's spellbinding stories are filled with magic and mayhem. Witness the boy who breaks his dance date because he's too cheap to spend the money. He learns about spells the hard way in Curses, Inc. What happens when a woman brings her son back from the dead in The Witch's Son? Many folks go to Granny Orilla for remedies. Does a cure await in Cypress Swamp Granny? Beware, these haunting stories will put you under their spell. So Curses, Inc. I thought this fit into this perfectly, and I really wanted an occasion to pick this one up. As soon as I saw this one at the used bookstore, I had to grab it immediately just because of the cover. And then for the VHS old school technology on the cover, here's where I wanted to put in my official choice for the Fear Street books. So like I said, I've been reading them kind of in order. I started a few years ago, it dropped off, and now I'm picking it up again. So book number 5 is The Wrong Number. And this one, like I said, can also fit in with multiple other prompts. So it says, it began as a prank and ended in murder. So we have 2 scared looking girls on the cover here. So again, this can fit in with multiple prompts, but officially this is part of the old school technology on the cover because there's an old corded phone. And then on the back here it says, it began as an innocent prank when Dina Martinson and her best friend Jade Smith make sexy phone calls to the boys from school. But Dina's half-brother Chuck catches them in the act and threatens to tell their parents, unless the girls let him in on the fun. Chuck begins making random calls, threatening anyone who answers. It's dangerous and exciting. They're even enjoying the publicity and the uproar they've caused until Chuck calls a number on Fear Street. So I'm sure everything kind of goes crazy from there. This is one that I haven't read, so I'm super, super excited to read it and continue on with my Fear Street read or reread from my teenage years. And then next up we have Throwback, read a Fear Street Point horror or Christopher Pike, which is, for most of us, it's our favorites from the 80s and 90s. So I did throw a Christopher Pike in on the pile. I've never read Whisper of Death, and it's one of the ones that I've heard is one of his better books. So it says, they return home to a dead world. And on the back it says, Roxanne and Pepper are a teenage couple with problems. They leave their small town for a weekend to try to solve them. They don't really succeed, and when they return home, they find their town empty. They call other towns. They find the whole world is empty. So kind of that sci-fi sort of twist on here too. If you guys are a Christopher Pike fan, of course, you know his horror sometimes is a little bit off the wall. So I'm excited to throw him back into my TBR again. Then we have The Young and the Restless, read a romance or saucy, smutty kind of book. And so I have 2 here that I can choose from. I might go this way. I've been wanting to pick this one up. It's super short. It's another short story collection. And this is Ghostly Tales of Love and Revenge by Daniel Cohen. And it says on the front, when love conquers death, beware. So I love the look of this. So it's like romance kind of short stories from beyond the grave. So that definitely has all the feels that I want. But I also put this one on here as well. This is number 1 out of the Sweet Dreams series. So it's about this young girl basically who goes away for the summer and she's not having a great time, but then of course she meets a boy and you know she's falling for him and stuff like that. He ends up getting really, really sick, and even though he's super rich, there's not enough money in the world to save him, so she's kind of falling deeper in love. He's sick, you know, the drama. So we might pick this one up. I might do a vlog about it because I've been saying, you know, I want to do one of those horror reader reads romance kind of vlogs, so this might be a good opportunity for that. So we'll see if we get to this one. And then next, this was probably one of my favorite prompts because I love anything that revolves around sort of schools in the nostalgic sphere. So this one is Saved by the Bell, read a book that's set in a school setting. So I picked up one of my Terror Academy books. So this one is called School Spirit, and I love the cover on this. Hopefully that's focusing in there. I don't think it is. There's a bit of an issue with my focus here. But hopefully you can see that. It looks like I'm gonna have to play around with my camera to try to fix the focus again. But it says, welcome to Central Academy. It's like any other high school on the outside, but inside, fear stalks the halls and terror is in a class by itself. So I haven't read any of the Terror Academy books. These are really, really hard to find. But I'm super excited to throw this one in there. You know, you've got the football and the cheerleading and the high school and the drama and the cheesiness and everything. So it says some players are just dying to win. So I thought that would fit in perfectly. Like I said, I usually don't do set TBRs. This is a pile of possibilities. I will likely not get to all of these books. So the next one is True Life, nonfiction. And I just recently picked up a book. I'm only just through the introduction because I wanted to put it in for this prompt for April. It's called The Science of Women in Horror, the Special Effects, Stunts, and True Stories Behind Your Favorite Fright Films by Meg Hadfield and Kelly Florence. So it's exactly what it's talking about. It's talking about women in horror and, you know, so very feminist sort of spin. And this can fit in with multiple prompts as well. There's other prompts that have to do with diversity and women writers and directors and all kinds of things. So I thought this would fit in perfectly as well. I'm reading that one on audio. So like I said, I just started the introduction a few days ago and I stopped because I wanted to put it in for this prompt and make sure that it counted. Next up, we have Halfway to Halloween, and that is, for me, kind of what's special about April. April is such a big month. You know, we have OSA, it's halfway to Halloween, it's Nirvana month, and Nirvana is my favorite band of all time. So it's you know, pick a Halloween book, basically, or a book that's set on Halloween. And this one, it could actually fit in with the prompt that's called Finish Him, because I have soft DNF'd this book twice now, because I always try to read it during October, and October is a super busy month for me. So I want to pick it up again. This is one out of the Monster Street series, the Halloweeners, and I mean, the cover just has all the feels. It's got the kids on here, so it can fit in with the, you know, cast of characters. It's coming of age story. Look, they're turning into like monsters. It's purple. Purple is my favorite cover. It's got Halloween costumes. It has all the things. So I'm super excited about this one. I have 3, I think, out of the Monster Street series, and I haven't read any of them. They're still up on my shelf. So I thought this was the perfect opportunity to pick up another Halloween book. So it says on the back, Halloween isn't just Fisher's favorite holiday, it's his obsession. So when he's invited to join the Halloweeners, he couldn't be more thrilled. While trying to help them win the town's annual trick-or-treating competition, the Halloweeners stumble upon a mysterious cauldron in an old haunted house. After eating the irresistible candy inside it, Fisher's new friends are all transformed into monsters of their costumes. So it kind of reminds me of that episode of Buffy where Ethan Rayne comes in and opens the Halloween store and all the kids turn into their costumes when he does a spell with chaos. So very much the same sort of feels. So definitely want to put that one in there. And the next one, now this is the final prompt that I'm going to officially put on my list. Like I said, I might completely switch everything up and decide to read something else. But for right now, this is my pile of possibilities. So the very last prompt is My Girl, which is a coming of age story with a cast of characters. And I've been reading the Christopher Pike Spooksville series on my Everand app. And it's been fantastic. And Matthew and I really got into putting together Lego. And I just bought him a huge set. I should show it to you guys. But one of the things we love to do is either put on a movie or a show or put on an audiobook, and he really enjoys the Spooksville series as well and builds some Lego. And right now I'm on book number 4, which is Aliens in the Sky, and it says, meeting a group of aliens the evening after strange lights appeared in the sky, Adam and his friends are forced to accompany the strange beings for a ride and soon discover that they've been abducted. So kind of that sci-fi sort of twist that can fit into a bunch of other prompts as well. There's neon on the cover, like I said, so we're probably going to be building lots and lots of Lego because I will show you the set that I just bought Matthew for his birthday, and that's something that we're going to be doing during Old School April when we're doing all of our watch prompts, and I'm sure it'll fit into one of the activities, and we're going to make, you know, kind of silly concoctions for food and stuff. It's going to be great. So let me show you his Lego set. So here we go. We've been building the Harry Potter Lego sets, and so we just finished the year 1 flying lessons, which was a smaller set. Last year we put together the Hogwarts castle. It's over on one of my bookshelves. And this year we wanted to go all in. He wanted the big kahuna. So this is the burrow, the Weasley's house. And it's definitely an 18+ set, and it's about 2,400 pieces. So this is going to take several months to put together. But it's huge. Like the whole thing I believe is about 18 inches high, but it like opens up and you can see the inside of the house. So very, very cool. So I bought that, like I said, specifically for his birthday, but it is something that I wanted to start putting together during Old School April, where we could put on our comfort movies and just, you know, have a really, really good time. I am gonna go through my comfort movies when I do my watch list pile of possibilities, because there's certain movies that I watch every single Old School April because they're just so nostalgic for me and they're just so comforting. So I will definitely do that in the next video. But for now, this is officially my host recommendation video. Make sure you guys join the Beetlejuice bunch if you haven't already. If you're on one of the other teams, we're gonna have some great competition going on. I hope you guys are excited about the event this year, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or a question down below because you know I love chatting with you guys. But until next time, stay spooky, everybody. Bye.